the winner of the College Football Fan Index is the king of their rivalry matchup. And the winner is Ohio State. I'm imagining that their rivalry is against Michigan. And although they may be the king in recent matchups against the Wolverines, historically speaking, they're more like the Poppers. And while that rivalry is certainly historic and iconic, did you know that the oldest college football rivalry dates back to the 1800s between two eastern Pennsylvania schools? Lafayette and Lehigh are just 17 miles apart, and the rivalry is real. The first matchup between these two was in 1884. Lafayette College developed some of the most well-known elements of the sport itself. In the late 1880s, George Barkley, a star athlete for Lafayette, helped change the game forever. So Barkley didn't like the idea of his good looks being ruined by a cauliflower ear, so he went to a leather maker to create the very first version of what became a football helmet. In 1924, Lafayette coach Herbert McCracken devised the first huddle system to prevent against opposing teams from reading the team's hand signals, and was immediately adopted by other teams across the country. The rivalry has been rated in ESPN's top 10, inspired a PBS documentary, and Sports Illustrated wrote that this rivalry is something that every sports fan needs to see once in their lifetime. Trouble is, tickets sell out fast and many months in advance. Another bitter rivalry is Texas versus Oklahoma. We have Fox Sports analyst Bruce Feldman to break it all down.
If Oklahoma runs the table, they're definitely going to the playoff. I think the Big 12 with the playoff, that would give them an added data point, 13-0. No matter what, they would go in the playoff. The question is, can Oklahoma or West Virginia have one stumble and still go? I think they could. I think a Big 12 champ that's 12-1 would go in. Yeah, I think for as much of the talk about is Texas back, whether they win this game or not, obviously this would be a big chip on their side if they can do that. But I think Texas is getting back. I think they're probably a year away from being a top 10 team, but I would not rule them out pulling an upset here, because I think they have enough speed on defense. I think they are well coached. And the other thing to keep in mind is Tom Herman, whether go back to his track record at Houston, won a lot of big games when he was the underdog. So, you know, even if they win this, we'll see where it takes them, but I think it's a really dangerous Texas team.
Thanks, Bruce, and be sure to tune in to Northwestern versus Michigan State on FS1 as next week's College Football Fan Index theme will be revealed during halftime. And in the meantime, stick with Sports Pulse, your heartbeat to what's trending in sports.